Welcome to STMU SET Spotlight, where we explore the stories and people shaping the future of science, technology, and education. I'm your host, Dr. Paul Uhlig, Chair and Professor of Mathematics. Today, I'm thrilled to welcome Dr. Juan Ocampo, Chair of the Department of Mechanical and Industrial Engineering, along with one of their outstanding students. Professor Ocampo, will you introduce Yareli?
Yeah, absolutely. So Yareli is one of our, as you mentioned, outstanding students in our department. She's a senior in mechanical engineering, and I'm very happy that she's here with us today because she's like the superstar in our department. She has been able to do internships. She has been able to do research with us. She's also an honors student, and she's also doing an internship with Intertech that is now her senior design project.
That's really wonderful. Welcome, Yareli.
Thank you so much.
Tell us a little bit about the process of getting started with the department and your program.
Sure. So when I first chose to come to St. Mary's, I decided to really look into the program and look at the classes that we were going to be having. I also looked at the labs and everything, and I really liked it. That's why I made the decision to come here. And I remember like in the first tours, they mentioned like a lot about research, and that's where I gained a lot of interest in it. And once I started talking with Dr. Ocampo, I knew that I was passionate about it and I wanted to do it as well. And through his help and the department in general, I've been able to gain those experiences.
That's fantastic. How did you know you were interested in being an engineer?
So that's kind of hard. So when I was in high school, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to study. I knew I liked like the design area and also like physics and math, and I always was good about it in high school. And someone recommended me, maybe you should look into mechanical engineering. And I was like, okay, sure, I would do it. And then I wasn't sure when I first started, and I started taking up the classes, and I knew I was actually enjoying it, and I was sure that I made the right decision.
Wow. So maybe I can ask both of you to tell me about the hands-on kinds of projects and learning that is characteristic of our engineering program.
Yeah, absolutely. And let me take first that question from a faculty point of view, and then Yareli can answer as a student. And that's something that I feel very proud about our department is how hands-on it is. So starting from the very first semester, right now our students are like a programming drone. So when you come and you're doing like a Python programming, you're not doing those just on the computer and looking at numbers of the computer passing through. So what you're doing actually is you're programming drones. You're making these drones to make different activities, like a landing in a path, like a passing through a circle, like a doing a different sequence. So those are the type of things that our students are doing, for example, in programming. We also have classes in machining and prototyping. So our students, they go to the machining lab. They're like doing welding. They're like doing CNC machining. They're like doing plasma cutting. So they're getting all this experience just from the very, very first year. And then starting on the second, third, fourth year, so they get more specialized. They go into circuits and systems lab. They go to the thermofluids lab. They go to the materials lab. They go to the instrumentation lab. So what we're trying to do with our students is not just like hey, you're learning in the classroom. No, you're learning by doing. You're learning like by applying the concept that you do in the classroom, so you go and apply it into the lab. And also we complement that with our research. So I'm very proud of everything that our faculty do. So I have faculty in fire protection. I have faculty in biomedical engineering. I have faculty in advanced materials. I have faculty in 3D printing. I have myself in aerospace structures. And even when I have a faculty that comes with a crazy idea, like, hey, I want to use tides from the sea to produce energy. So we take those students to do that type of research. So no matter like what is your dream, no matter what do you want to do for research, one of my faculties is going to make those dreams and those ideas to come through.
Wow.
And from the student perspective, as Dr. Ocampo was mentioning, we get a lot of the basics in the classes, basically, and we learn all the theory and make exercises that will align to real world problems, but we also do projects that allows us to put that into practice. As he was mentioning, multiple classes, I've had to do 3D printing or actually make something and not just do it on the computer or do it through a program, but actually build it. And it's sometimes it's like based on something that the professor decided, but they also allow us the opportunity to make our decisions on what we want to build. So, for example, in workshop, we get to decide what kind of projects we want to build, and we also have to come up with the reasoning behind it. I was able to do a pill dispenser with my peers, and I have also done a electromagnetic train to teach kids a lot about SET basically and get them interested in it. But also through research, we also had the opportunity to do whatever we wanted. So when I first approached Dr. Ocampo, he offered me the chance to do research, and he explained to me what it really was. And I did it through this program called SURF that the school offers. And he allowed me the opportunity to choose whatever I wanted to do in research. I know many professors already have ongoing projects, and many students just carry on with that. But he allowed me to choose what I wanted to work on. And as he mentioned, I was doing the tidal current turbines research, which was really awesome because I got to bring the knowledge I got in my classes to actually building something that just straight out come from my mind and like my design ideas and applying all the theory that I got.
That sounds like fantastic research. Can you say more about the experience of having a mentor and how that might have been new to you as now as a student at St. Mary's in the engineering program?
Sure. So talking with Dr. Campo helped me a lot on the guidance that they can provide. When you first start college, you don't really have an idea on what you want to do. You just go through the classes and you go with the flow, basically. But having a mentor really allows you to create a path that focuses on what you actually want to do in the future or help you figure out opportunities that you might not be aware of. I come from a different country, and so the whole experience of college is very different. And having a mentor helps you a lot on that guidance and how to follow the next step. As I mentioned, he helped me figure out what research was and how to go through the process. And he was there in every step and explaining what should I do, and also gave me opportunities like attending conferences or being of help to the engineering department through different activities that we have, like being spotlights and all this kind of stuff. But I know that many other people have had experiences with mentors as well, that they can provide them with outside opportunities of school, and that is also great.
Professor Ocampo, say a little bit more about how mentoring helps our engineering students thrive and then connects them to the kinds of research that they're going to do once they graduate.
Yeah, for me, mentoring is like a shaping the student, but not in the way that we wanted to shape them. It's the way that they want to be shaped. So, for example, the first time that Yareli came, she say, "Hey, have this project idea." I say the best thing to cultivate a student to research is that they can bring something that excites them. So that very first project, we went through full year. She did all the development. She went and presented in a national conference. And then after she finished that one, I said, okay, now we're moving to something like a more difficult, let me call it that way, in engineering. So I moved her to additive manufacturing in metal 3D printing. So I was able to start steering her into a research that will benefit her more into the terms of what she wanted for the future. So then she used that for her honors thesis. So she did metal 3D printing. She did material characterization, which is to take those 3D prints and take them to the machine and then do tensile tests and see how they behave compared with traditional manufacturing. So that mentoring has allowed me to steer Yareli in the goals that she has and be able for her to grow in terms of her professional life, also in terms of the technical education, also her as a human with the different curiosity that she has in engineering, and see her growing and see her going from a project that she wanted to do, going into a project that is more challenging, going into senior design that is doing a project for the industry, and now seeing her that she secured a job with Nestle is make you so happy to see this person that came with her own ideas, and she was able to grow and bring all this now to secure a very nice job for her now that she's going to graduate.
Yareli, that's fantastic. And presenting at a national conference is a significant scholarly result to have under your belt. Could you say something about the experience of presenting at a national conference? How did you prepare for that, and what was it like when you finally were there?
Sure. So I had the opportunity to present at 2 conferences now, both for SHIP, which is Society of Professional Hispanics in Engineering, which were both through the club that we have on campus, which Dr. Campos is our mentor. And I had the chance to present over there to students, also professionals, and multiple people in different industries. So in order to prepare for that, it was kind of difficult because you want to gather everything that you did in basically 10 minutes, which is kind of hard. But I was able to gather it and also create a presentation that made people interested on my ideas and on the process and the results that I got. I got good feedback on it. The last presentation I did was on my thesis. And I actually got in contact with someone in the aerospace industry who was interested in it and saying that he tried to implement these ideas as well. And I've been talking to him and he was very interested in my project. And so doing this research and actually present it to other people outside school gives you a lot of opportunities out there as well, which is awesome.
That's really great. Professor Ocampo, can you say more about some of the major organizations that you connect students with for research, like the FAA and maybe perhaps the NSF?
Yeah, absolutely. So something that I have been working since I go to St. Mary's is I have a project with the Federal Aviation Administration, with the FAA, and what we're doing is structural reliability. That is to see how we can use methods to make structures more safe. And what we do is we look at the risk. So what is the risk that we're going to have an aircraft failure, a fatigue or fracture mechanics failure, and we make decisions based on that risk. So when that risk gets to a certain point, we take actions on the structure, and the action may be a replacement and repair or just do regular maintenance action. So that's something that I have been doing with the FAA. We have students as well in the mechanical engineering, the industrial engineering, the computer engineering program participating in this research. Also, we have NSF programs. So we have a program that was called Fuerte that allows students to do research and also to have industry experiences as well. So we have also the opportunity to expose students to those research opportunities. And what is more beautiful is not just the two programs that I have. All my different faculty members in our department, they have different programs for the student to do research. I have faculty members like growing mushrooms and use like these mushrooms to create like a 3D printing material, and we use this 3D printing material to see how this how we have the graduation of the material after it's used. And also this student has been doing national presentations. I have students with grants from NIST, and this grant is for fire protection. So also I have a student like working into that. I have a faculty with NIH grants that also employs our students. So it's so beautiful to see that every student in our campus has an opportunity. Every student that approach a faculty member and say like, hey, I want to do research, that is my own idea, or I want to do research on your area. So we're able to take these students and they're working with us. So it's not just the programs that I have with industry and with the national entities like FAA and NSF, it's also my faculty members that are working on those areas and giving opportunities to great students like Yareli, which can be local students, U.S. students, or international students. We offer those opportunities as well.
Yeah, Riley, thinking about students that may be thinking about coming to St. Mary's, what kinds of things would you suggest they consider in terms of being a part of the engineering program?
I think that if you're evaluating coming to St. Mary's and you have the opportunity to come and look at the actual programs and what we offer and like what St. Mary's offers to their students, I think that would be great. Just for them to see the labs that we have, where how our classes go, what our professors can offer to them. I think that would be the ideal way they can visualize how it will actually look like. Our new building that we have as engineers gives a lot of opportunities for this. And so I think that if you consider St. Mary's, you should look into that. I think that you should also try to get in contact with professors like Dr. Ocampo. I know they have like outreach experiences for students that are interested, and they can provide these ideas to you so that you become more aware of what St. Mary's can offer to you. And we have a lot of programs as well for engineering students or people that are interested in engineering, so that they learn more about it and what other opportunities they might have in the future.
Professor Ocampo?
So come hungry, because Yareli did that, and she took every single opportunity that we have. She did research, she did an internship, she has a sponsored senior design project, she did a honor thesis, she secured an amazing job that she's starting in May, June. So come hungry, and we have plenty of opportunities. Take a look to all our different programs. So we have programs in mechanical, industrial, computer, software, management, science, biomedical, and electrical. So we have all the suite of different engineering programs with amazing faculty, with faculty that is so experienced, with faculty that has industry connections, with faculty that has connection for grad school. If you want to do a master's of PhD, something that I was pushing Yareli a little bit, but she decided to go to the industry, which is an amazing opportunity that she's going to have with Nestle. We also have those connections. So come, take a look to our programs, take a look to our opportunities. And what I tell my students, I have more opportunities than students. So if you come hungry and you want to take advantage of all this is an endless possibilities for you at St. Mary's.
Yareli, people say engineering is hard, and I think they're right. But can you say something about what that really means and how you found the resilience to stay in the game and really be the kind of excellent engineer that you're turning out to be?
Thank you. I think that what people consider hard about engineering is that it might take up a lot of your time. We all take hard classes, of course, and most of them need you to put that time into them. I know we all try to balance like work, school, research, and our personal lives, and that's the hard part about it. But if you try to find a balance in it and be organized about it, I think you can make it work. And that's what I did personally. I try to manage my time the best way possible to take advantage of it and to take advantage of all the opportunities that St. Mary's gives me as well. Because I know that the college experience is all about that, basically, and I wanted to take the most out of it. But in terms of why engineering is hard, I think it's basically just because it requires a lot of effort and going to classes and paying attention, taking notes, doing more than what the professor gives you to actually learn the material and bring it out to the real world and not just stay with the facts that they give you in class.
And let me mention something. If you ask me, is engineering easy? No, it's not easy. It requires effort and it requires time. But I promise you that it's very rewarding in two things when you graduate. The first one is very fun. You're going to be always making new things. You're going to be always solving problems. You're going to making life better for everybody. Everything in engineering, like when you go to the doctor and you get an MRI or you get a robotic surgery or you fly an airplane, that's made by an engineer. So it's very, very fun. So it pays off when you graduate, and also the salaries for engineers are excellent. So we have, I'm going to say, not some fun time during these 4 years, but it's so much fun after the 4 years. So have that into account, and we have a lot of support for our students. So you are not alone on this. If you are having a difficult time in one of your math classes, you have a full amazing math department, and also you have an engineering department that is going to support you. So just make sure that you take advantage of all the support that we have on campus, and I promise you that you will finish that degree. Sometimes it takes 5 years. It took me 5 years to finish engineering. Some other people only takes 4 years, but at the end, it's very rewarding.
Yeah. St. Mary's has a long history of distinguished graduates from a lot of our programs, especially engineering. And yet we're a small Catholic liberal arts university, and sometimes people are surprised that we have to find out that we have engineering programs. Could you say a little bit about how that aspect of expecting to graduate from St. Mary's fits into how you see yourself as an engineer?
So, given the classes that we are required to take as a liberal arts college, I think many of those give you an insight of more on the personal side, more on the human side. Engineering is a lot about math, a lot about forces and movements and all this kinds of stuff, but it just focuses on that. Having the other perspective gives you more of a human idea or caring about what you are going to produce. So sometimes when you're building something, you might only focus on the budget or the material or that it works, but you also need to focus that it will contribute to the people. And I think that's what the classes give you, what those classes can provide to you. Also in honors, I have had the opportunity to have different classes as well. Some of them being in leadership, which give me a lot of help in the engineering side of it. So by providing you this ways of leadership, it can help you take on projects from a different perspective, not only for the result of a project, but also working along different people. For engineers, I have heard a lot that it's very hard for us to work as a group. And of course, the department and the classes help you out through that by doing group projects. But it also helps that these other classes have also helped me in that side of being more helpful to others in that sense.
Yeah, and I would like to comment on that because I tell many people we are a professional school, which is engineering, within a liberal arts school, which provides not just the technical knowledge, but also it provides you and forms you as a person. So many times in engineering, as Yareli was mentioning, we just worry about what is the client needs, okay? What is the client asking me for? And what I love about our students is they also see the human side, like how this is going to contribute to the humanity, like how this can be a bad effect and how can I mitigate those effects. And we see that in all our classes. So when our students, when they take our philosophy class, so they're thinking about the ethical aspects of everything that we are creating. In our design workshop, we also bring the social aspect of our design. So when Yareli was mentioning that she created an electromagnetic train for STEM education, each group in our design workshop was making an STEM activity that we will bring to our high schools and middle schools in our San Antonio area. So the teacher has something that they can show and they can explain STEM to our students. In our senior design projects as well, we try to have always a project that is contributing to our community. So last year, we developed an STEM bus with the San Antonio SISD Foundation, San Antonio Independent School District Foundation, where we use this bus, which has drones, has a flight simulator, has a robotic arm, has 3D pens, VR glasses, and we take these ones across different schools in the San Antonio area, schools that they had never had exposed to STEM, so students can get inspired to be in these careers. So I love to see when our students, they just not think about the technical part, they also think about the humanitarian part of the projects that they are making. So that's the beautiful that being in a Catholic Marianist university and a liberal arts school bring to this professional engineering school as well.
Wonderful. I'm going to ask both of you, and you can go in either order. Can you describe when you realized I'm becoming an engineer?
Oh, I remember that moment, and I'm fascinated by airplanes. That's my passion. That's what I do for my research. That's what I dream every day. That's what I see every day when I'm coming work. It's like where are these airplanes landing? So something that fueled me to go into engineering was to pursue this dream about aviation, about airplanes. And I did all my school. I did my senior design project. But then I worked for a year before coming to the United States to do my master's. I'm originally from Colombia. And that day when I secure my job and I say like, okay, I'm going to be working in this place, I'm graduating. So now I have to go and solve real problems. I'm going to be an engineer in charge. So probably that was the moment that I realized, okay, I'm an engineer, now I'm doing real stuff. But not just that, before when I was doing my senior design, same thing. I was meeting with my clients, I was meeting with my sponsor, and I was finishing this project. And I said oh my God, I'm an engineer. I'm making something. I'm making something for society. I'm making something for people to live better. This is what engineering is. So that was my realization moment when I was doing something for somebody else and somebody else was getting benefit from that. So
I think the moment that I realized I'm becoming an engineer, I'm still in the process, I would say. So it's kind of hard. I know I will start actually working in the summer, and that will change my perspective probably completely. But as for right now, I think the senior design projects, had made a lot of difference in the way I'm thinking. I remember like 2 weeks ago, we were having our weekly meetings for the project, and we were discussing a solution for it. And Dr. Ocampo actually told me, "Oh, you're thinking like an engineer now," which was funny to think of. But yeah, just considering it's realizing that the way you're thinking, it's completely different from the way that you were thinking before. Now you start thinking on the way things work, not just looking at the things, had many conversations in which my friends are like, "Oh, that's cool. How does that work?" And I'm like, "Oh, that probably works this and this way." And they're like, "Oh yeah, it's because you're an engineer." And it's a joke, but it actually changes that perspective that you have on things.
Any closing thoughts for our listeners?
I want to say something to our listeners, and is never let anybody tells you that you cannot be an engineer, or somebody tells you like you're not good at math, so you cannot be an engineer. Probably you didn't have the right mentors, you didn't have the right teachers, you didn't have the right professors. So don't let anybody to cut your wings and kill your dreams because you're not good at something. I'm sure that you can be an excellent engineer, and I'm sure that you can be an excellent contributor to society through this career if you come to the right place and you have the right mentors and you have the right teachers or the right professors. So if you're thinking about engineering, please reach out to us. Please let us show at our labs. Please let us listen to your dreams. Let us listen why you want to become an engineer. And probably this is the right place for you. But always dream big, be hungry, be behind all those opportunities. Education is a bigger life transformer. It helps you to have a social mobility. So please follow those dreams and let us be part of those dreams.
Yareli?
I would say for my last comments is that St. Mary's has provided me a lot of opportunities, and I think it was the right decision. And I would encourage everyone that's interested in engineering or joining St. Mary's to do so.
On behalf of SET Spotlight, thank you to our very special guest, Professor Juan Ocampo and Yareli Zelaya Pavon. We invite everyone to join us again for our next episode as we continue to highlight the people advancing science, engineering, and technology at St. Mary's University. Until then, elevate your excellence, shape excellent tomorrows.
Thank you,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Uhlig.
Thank you.